All right, finally got a new cemetery. We're at Bethany Baptist Church, and it's right off of Raccoon Valley Road in Knox County. You can see there's another cemetery, a newer part of it. I don't know if it's part of this church's cemetery or what the name of this one is right now, but we won't be going to that one. We're going to go right here to this one and see what all we can find here, any history we can dig up, ancestors. So let's get started. Got some halls. Willie Hall, Lily, James, and I guess that's their family stone. Some of these stones look pretty old, so I want to see how old they are. Here we have Harold Jackson, son of P.L. and Ninabelle Hall. Died in 1937. And this one, let's see if it's got a name on the back of it. Yeah, right here. It's Robert, James Robert, son of Mr. and Mrs. Pug Hall, 1921. We also have Bernie Tyndall, 1950. Okay, he was 124th Field Artillery, World War I veteran. Cecil, and that's his wife, or Cecile, sorry. Bernie and Cecile. And we got Naoma Ruth, born in 1912 and died in 1913. So that one's pretty old. Ethel, born in 1891, died in 1920. And Mildred, 1902 to 1925. And here we go. Warwick, William and Nancy. He died in 1912 and she died in 1937. So that's a pretty old one. Let's see. We have, looks like Raymond. I can't really read the last name. I think it's just Raymond Lay, and he was 1914 to 1917. So it's a child. Roy Lay died in 1913. Must have been his brother. Martha and Lillian Lay, 1911. Okay, so they must have been twins? No. She was born in March of 1866. Martha was. Lillian was 1909. But they both died in 1911. No, okay. Was the yellow fever? Was that?
They were a day apart.
They born, yeah, they died a day apart. But was the yellow fever 1910?
I know Spanish flu was
yeah, Spanish flu, that's what I'm talking, I'm sorry.
That was 1918.
1918. Well, they must have caught something, diphtheria or something. Russell Lay, 1910. Wow. Okay, so they had, what's this one? Is this another Lay? William Johnson, okay. 1899. I'm just trying to go back to the Lays because they had one to die in 1910, two to die in 1911, 1913, and then 1914. So man, they had a hard time. William Johnson, Nancy Johnson. It looks like she was born in 1838 maybe, but the stone's way too far down in the ground to find her death date. Here's a William Roosevelt Bayless, son of G.M. and M.B., 1901 to 1907. Oh, we got one right here. Kind of oddball in the ground. P.H. Parson, 1875 to 1948. And then we got William, okay, same guy, sorry, didn't mean to go over that one again. Claude M. Johnson, 1903 to 1920. So, these are pretty old ones. Here is a Bosky, it's an unusual name, Bosky Henniger, wife of Pern, that's another unusual name, Henniger, 1890 to 1911. Lord, I kindly rest.
No, something light. They died a few months before those two women down there did. Same year.
Well, you know, Raccoon Valley Road's a very old road. So there's probably a lot of old cemeteries. People died everywhere. Okay, somebody's tried to spruce this one up. Odessa Bridges, 1896 maybe to 1914. Sissy, I don't know. Wilkerson, just a baby, couple months old. Hobart Wilkerson, baby. Let's see if I can see the name on this one is Sophie Wilkerson. And this one is Elizabeth Wilkerson. These are just baby graves here. All four of those. William Mitchell, 1884 to 1952. All right. Up here. James Arms. This looks like Liza Jane. I really can't make out that last name. You can scrape it a little bit. See what Vandergrift. Okay, got it. Vandergrift. 1859 to 1898.
Yeah.
Over here, all by its lonesome, is Napoleon Sharp, 1885 to 1926. Okay, we have Mary Arms. This is an old one, 1875 to 1919. Herschel and Vasco. We have Jamaica Florence. She was the daughter of S.G. Weaver, 1880 to 1904. Pretty old one. This one we have Mary Ayres. No. Els. 1856. She was the wife of Jacob Vandergrift from 1871 to 1907. Then she married A.J. Pettigo in 1908 and died in 1910. And that's the same. Here's Jacob Vandergrift. That's her first husband. He was born in 1845 and died in 1907. And we got Bertie Hansard, 1896 to 1896. Just a couple of months old, that baby was. There's one here, but I guess I cannot get in that because that's a wild rose bush or thicket. There's no way I can get back there. Got a marker stone beside it. Sarah Hansard, 1866 to 1896. And then I'll go right down here. Right behind there. Okay, we have a J.M. Smith, Company E, 2nd Tennessee Infantry. So we got a Civil War guy here. I don't know a lot of Civil War history that happened on Raccoon Valley, but I know there's a Fort Sumter road close by. So if you guys want to give me some information, a little history on that. I haven't had time. I haven't really, it turned cold. East Tennessee weather, it's either two seasons, summer and winter. That's it, really. You don't have much of a spring or much of a fall. James Paul, son of W.E. and Susan Anderson, died in 1898. There's a Gentry, Omeka Gentry. She was the daughter of James Gentry, born in 1901, died in 1917 at rest. She's got a pretty tombstone. Artie Mae Anderson. You guys can see that date. You can see an old fence here, barbed wire fence. You don't know what's, what used to be here. They were back in the country though. W.E. Anderson and Susan Davis Anderson. Got a big pretty double stone. Here's Charlie O. and Minnie F. Anderson. Polly. We got John. These are not in bad shape at all. Maybe the church takes care of it. A few of them, like this one, I can't really read. I can't read any hardly of that. Can you read that at all? I can't.
Looks as
No, that's a hard one. Let me look next door here and see. I think they're still. This is a Jasper. Says our father. Beets. Is it B-E-E-T? Died in 1900. Looks like Beets.
This one must be.
Okay, so we got Winnie Vandalee Vandergriff. Susan Pearl Vandergriff. Yeah, I've already took a photo of that. Ida Leona Vandergriff. So these are pretty old. Susan Green, wife of James Monroe Ailes. And then we have a rock. That may be her footstone. I don't think so. It's pretty short. So I would say that's somebody's headstone. We have a Cynthia Hill. And there's a hill road that we came off of. That one just has some initials. Minerva, wife of H. Chadwell. She was 53 years old and died in 1899. Hugh Chadwell, 1827 to 1906. Daniel Johnson, just a baby, month old, died in 1888. Lockie, C.H. and S.E. Johnson, just a baby. Charles Johnson, just a year old. It's so sad that they didn't have modern medicine back then to help these babies. So many babies died. And people actually, there's a rock head marker there. It's not a very big cemetery. course, I'm sure the church takes good care of it. Alice Tyndall, 1860-1908. Go around here and see. Okay, this one kind of needs to be reset, but I would say this is a John or J.N. Tyndall, 1860-1936. His headstone's a little, his whole, you can't tell it on the camera, but his entire grave is sunk. There's a rock marker, another rock marker. This is in memory of Miss Sensenball, the first person buried in this cemetery in 1871. Sensenball. That's a Cincy ball? Cincy ball? Cincy ball? German? 1871. Elise, no? Algae? Algae or algae?
Yeah.
Keelan, wife of Solomon Irick. 1803 to 1886. Well, you can tell these are buried right up against the church, or I don't know when the church was, this particular church was built, but I mean, they really, they're pretty close. I mean, really, you step out that door and you're on to somebody's grave. Isabella Vandergriff, 1829-1900. James Vandergriff, 1830-1911. And Martha Dawsett, 1864 to 1934. Seriously, if I look, you can see, just imagine, the grave is right, I mean, the church is right on it. George Hewitt, looks like he died in 1944. Mary, the wife of Samuel Bayless, died in 1916. And here's Samuel, her husband, died in 1908. And we'll go on up here. Oh, here's another Civil War. Henry Hewitt, Company M, 10th Michigan Cavalry. Huh.
I don't know if that was a Custer's outfit.
I don't know. Minnie Mitchell, 1901. Bloma Mitchell, 1888 to 1903. Okay, that's an unusual name. Here's an infant daughter of Mr. and Mrs. J.B. Clark, 1909. Gavin Mitchell and Elizabeth Burkhart Mitchell. Okay, yeah. He died in 1929. She died in 1918. Nice double stone. We got Thomas Henniger, just a baby, 1921. Perny Eugene Henniger, 1907-1908. We have a Masonic Lodge member, John Paris Vandergriff, 1856 to 1899. Looks like I see some grave sites with no markers. Maybe right through here. You can just tell the way is the lay of the land. And here's another one like right next to the church. Lucinda and John Clark, 1914 and he died in 1931. Cordy Rhodey, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Clark, 1878 to 1903. Nancy, wife of J.B. Burkhart. Here's another Mitchell. Chaz R. Mitchell, 1877 to 1891. What a big tree's been here. It's an old one. Elizabeth and Albert Mitchell. She died in 1904. He died in 1892. Harry Hall, son of SF and ME. He died in 1900. Mary Mitchell, 1871 to 1936. Mary, the wife of SM Irick, 1852 to 1920. Over here in this little fenced-in plot, we have Archie Burton Hansard. He died in 1942. And his wife, Betha Mitchell, and she died in 1931. We're almost done. My phone will hold up. J.A. Mitchell passed away in 1918. Melinda Weaver, that's his wife. 1926 she passed away. Here's a W.G. Mitchell, just a child, passed away in 1899 at a year old. There's another Mitchell, it looks like J.G., passed away in 1909. Still going over here, you can tell. Here's another one. Go off the steps and you're right here at one. Lynn Russell, or Bustle. Is that a B or an R?
That's a B.
That's a B. No, it looks like an R. Okay. Maybe, looks like an R. The daughter of Mr. and Mrs. J.T. Hall. Died in 1950. She was just a year old. Here's Reverend S.F. Hall, 1866 1923. Emily. I've got it spelled really cute. That's his wife. Died in 1935. I got Mary Elizabeth and John Davis, 1931, 1969. Over here we have Charles and Isabel Anderson. They died in the 40s. This is the newest one so far. Jess Willard Summer died in 1999. Summers Ernest and Emma. And then we got Juanita, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Anderson, 1923. She looked like she was 2 years old. Here's another one. Opal Catherine Anderson. She was just a year old. She died in 1922. Over here we have a Charles Sharp, 1882 to 1940. And I know I missed a couple, but I'm going to get them. Then we'll be done with this one. Sam Miller, 1956. These look homemade. Yeah, Jim Miller passed away in 1920. Charlie, 1956 when he passed away. This is Johnny Miller. It's kind of damaged. I can't really tell the death date on that one. Let's see what this one is. Yeah, these are all homemade here. Trey Miller, maybe passed away in 1949. And another Miller, it just says Miller, son of Jim and Icy, maybe, but there's no date on it. And then let's see. We got this one. This is Grace Odom, 1915 to 1922, maybe. You see, it's a real pretty place. There must be their fellowship hall there. Like I said, I don't know the name of the cemetery across the street. Maybe being named the same thing. I don't think I got these. Beulah Beeler, 2 years old. Sarah Irick Hicks. Tylis Irick. Jacob Irick. Pretty stone. Orban Hicks. 1909 is when he passed away. Look at this one. This is a J.B. Burkhart. 1912 is when they passed away. And then, look at this one. Looks like a little tree stump. Little lamb. Jewel Dean Irick, 1926. So it's 2-year-old. And we got James Anderson, 1911 to 1926. And Omer Lee Irick, 1911 to 1912. This one was just a baby, and it's an, oh, I can't read that one. It's not coming off. No. Just a baby, though. Looks like the last name was Spitzer, maybe. All right. Well, this is it. This is the graveyard. And this is the Bethany Baptist Church on Raccoon Valley Road. It's a very old graveyard. It really is. Probably early settlers in here. Not too early, but you know, born 1800 is pretty old. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe and share. And I'll get to some more. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.